And welcome back to Wayne County now. It is currently 7:38 and we're bringing up something on our screen right now that Derek and I were just talking about. And I'm going to zoom in on this. And what we're looking at is you can see here green and red, they're bright. Right together right there. And it lines up with the little notch that you can see. So I'm going to, there's what I'm talking about. And that lines up with right about in here on that same thing. So what I'm looking at from my view is a little bit of a rotation there in that storm. And Derek, I believe you're seeing the same thing. This is out of the Evansville, Indiana radar, by the way.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing, and Dustin, I'm looking at it. It's still rotating here. We are seeing a little bit of rotation with it. This would be west of Edgewood, west of I-57, just in the southern part of Fayette County. But for those like Edgewood, Mason, Bible Grove, and Northern Clay County, it's moving due east.
That it is, and we're just looking at it. There's no warning on this. There's no thunderstorm warning. There's no tornado warning. But typically, when you're looking for rotation, bright green, bright red, and we have that right there on the screen right there. And it's pretty plain as day. And typically, you would have a notch like you have on the left of the screen where you have maybe something on a notch. So they are saying that there are isolated chances of tornadoes tonight, and this would be isolated and they would be rain wrapped in a sense. And I'm gonna go back out here in just a second. I'm gonna clear the telestrator here, and we're going to switch one of the screens over here to correlation coefficient. Dual pole here. And there's a little bit of something signature wise back in that area. You can see a little bit of a debris signature of some sort.
Yeah.
So, and that lines up, that's just to the west of that. And that would be kind of something to look at. So, and by what I'm talking about here, let me get the telestrator out again. And what I'm seeing is right in here, which would line up with that notch. So,
Yeah, I'm seeing on my end as well, right between like Wilburn and Laclede. So if you know someone in those areas, Bible Grove, Viola, Edgewood, um, definitely want to keep an eye on this coming in. So far, nothing confirmed yet on the ground, but it's definitely eye catching on radar.
it is, and I'm going to run a track on this. I know we're running, because these are running about 35. This would catch northern portion of Clay County. So maybe something. This would be the Lincoln Weather Service office that would be worried about this. So I'm going to center this up on the screen for the moment. Bible Grove or Louisville in about 35 minutes. Bible Grove in 36 minutes, according to the information I'm seeing. Now, granted, the velocity could be picking up, and we're believing 35. That's the way the line has been most of the afternoon. So, Derek, what else would you like to add?
Well, I would say that we're also starting to get dark here outside, and so you might still be able to see some rotation if you happen to be in the area, but radar, when it gets to be nightfall, it's definitely your friend in terms of velocity data. And this is actually, we're starting to see these storms coming in, and looking here on my end here, Dustin, as I zoom out a little bit. We were talking about this, we're hopping back on, but we're starting to see Iola, northwestern Clay County getting a storm, Oskaloosa, Highway 50, Kinmundy getting that storm. We talked about them, but we're seeing though this extend to the west of Sandoval and the Carlisle area. So we could see a part of Wayne County get clipped with this cluster of storms.
Yeah, I think you're talking about this area back where it's going through Clinton County
Yeah,
right now. And I'm going to put the radar in motion just so we can show what we're seeing. And I might have to back it out a little bit. There you go. As it's developing into Clinton County, and it's going to maybe catch portions of Washington County and start moving that way. So that might be the line we see tonight. And it's too early to tell if we're going to have anything out of this, but
hey Dustin,
definitely.
if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
go back 30 frames on your radar, and you can actually see how quickly it's really formed.
Go back to 30 frames.
Yeah, look how quickly it's formed.
Yep, we're going 30 frames. I don't even have to go 30 frames to see how quickly it's forming.
No, well, I'm just saying something that I've been doing on my end. So
Yeah. Now these are starting to develop, and now there's a cell that's in northwestern Clay County that's pretty strong, and it's extreme northwestern Clay County that might hit the Bible Grove area. But let me move back to where we were seeing that rotation. Still have dark green and dark red right next to each other, but it doesn't seem as pronounced as it was.
still about the east of Wilburton, west of the Clede, I-57 area.
Yeah,
Let's see.
that's high res. Let me go to base and let me see if that changes something there. If there's anything, it would be near the county line of Effingham County,
Yeah,
also into Fayette County, and then also potentially getting ready to cross into Clay.
yeah.
So that's something to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing you are on my end. I'm just thinking if there's anything, any rotation within that cell, it's approaching I-57 in Fayette County.
Yes, and just to be clear, there is no warning on this. But yeah, this is, I think, where we're talking about the potential rotation. You could see it very southeastern Effingham County. And that lines up where the little break in the precipitation is.
Let's also not forget about the severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for Clay and Effingham counties and Marion and Fayette. So,
Yeah, that goes until 9 this evening, by the way. As we're watching on radar, you're seeing a split screen of that storm that is in that area. The left side is what you're used to, it's base reflectivity, and what we're going is storm velocity on the right, and that's how we can tell you might have some things going on is through looking at the relative velocity data, the storm relative. We're going to go, I'm going to switch to correlation coefficient there, and they're still picking
oh,
up something there.
yeah.
It's picking up something in that area. And I don't know if they're seeing that in the weather service information up at Lincoln. That would be a Lincoln Weather Service thing at that point. So I'm jumping into Slack right now to see if they're seeing anything. But no, this is very. It's kind of dangerous because there's no warning what they're showing. This is the last thing I just saw in Slack. Heavy rain, Quincy to Effingham, several flash flood warnings in the region. That was posted, but
This
I'm
is
also,
interesting.
yeah. Now I'm seeing rotation of some sort, and I'm seeing a little bit of some type of thing in the correlation coefficient in line with it. So it may be something that Lincoln might have to do something.
Yeah.
But they may not be seeing the same thing we are. Of course, they have more expensive toys than what we have here at Wayne County
Yeah.
now. But this is a pretty sophisticated toy to look at the correlation coefficient, and you see that. I'm going to look at one other part of correlation coefficient. A little bit of.
By the way, while Dustin's looking that up, we'd like to mention, Louisville, Florida, you guys, that storm is knocking on your back door. You may be starting to see some rain clouds coming in from the west. Meanwhile, Sandoval getting some pretty good sized hail over there, possibly Odin as well. Again, no warnings associated with this cluster of storms, but it is strong, though, and should not be overlooked by any means.
No, and now it's starting to look like what we've been talking about is starting to maybe dissipate a little bit, which would be good. Well, not on that shot, but it's in southern Effingham County, around I-57. You can see Altamont is to the
Yeah.
north, Watson's northeast, which would be about where I-57. It's just to the west of I-57 there, because in that
Yeah.
area, I-57 goes through Clay, Fayette, and Effingham counties, and then into Marion County with all within a 7-mile stretch. And there's a little bit of a notch on there, a couple notches there. So I'm just pulling it out so you can see what I'm looking at on my screen. But there's a couple little notches. There's a little bit of tails about where could be just wind, but
Sometimes you have a storm that kind of has like that primary source of rotation, let's say, and then that rotation dies out, and then another one could form. So that
yes,
can happen.
it's very true. We're seeing some rotation. It appears as we're seeing a little couplet, if you will, but no warning. And this is lining up with where the little break in the rain is, if you can tell that.
Yeah.
This is in southern Effingham County. Uh, this would be almost near I-57 at this point. I don't have the interstates up or the roadways up,
I
but
do.
you do on yours, and I would say it's very close. And it probably is crossing I-57 right now, if there's anything.
Yeah, I'm seeing Dustin on your end. I'm looking here at your radar real quick. It looks like I'm still seeing maybe a little bit of rotation around that Laclede area, 57. So it's crossing that. I'm seeing a little bit of that. I know you're kind of focused, I think, northwest of Edgewood right there. But it seems like to me, I'm seeing a little bit of rotation also west of Laclede. But hey, that's what I'm seeing on mine anyway when I look at high res velocity data.
Yeah, no, I could see where you're talking about. Maybe something there too, and that it looks a little more up in Effingham County. There's a new scan, and it's about to switch on the other here in a moment. But just all the shades of precipitation colors we have in the data
Yeah.
that the radar is putting out. But just to be clear, there's no warning on this, but we're definitely keeping an eye on it. I'm going to go back
Yes.
to the standard radar that you're used to seeing at home. We're going to put this in motion. That way you can watch it. And this is going to be out of the Evansville, Indiana, or well, I say it's the Evansville, Indiana radar. It's the Gibson County radar, but serves the Evansville portion of the coverage for the National Weather Service at Paducah. If it'll go in motion, it would be great.
Would also like to mention, you guys can watch us on your mobile phone, your tablet. Also, if you want to screencast it to your TV, your smart TV, more than welcome to do that. So that way we're providing you weather coverage. We got some stormy weather to our north and northwest that could potentially impact Wayne County. It looks like that cell near Salem has been getting some strength lately.
It is too, and if you look, Centralia, Central City, they're getting a nice shower right now as it's going through there. 161, that corridor, as well as the corridor around let's see, US 50, 161. You're going to see some rain. So Johnsonville, Sisney, Reinard, Mount Erie, Jeff. I would say this is going to stay just north of Fairfield, is what it's looking like. Now that
But
can certainly
it,
change.
Yeah, it could extend to the south. It seemed like this cluster has been trying to extend down to the south. We're starting to see a storm form near Ridgeview, north of Ashley, right there on the Highway 51 corridor, approaching I-57. So it's trying to, again, extend further down to the south.
I'm looking right now to see if there's anything new from the Weather Service. In regards to a mesoscale discussion.
If we have any rotation, the reason why we're on here is if we have any rotation, no warning yet for Clay County, but it's west of Viola, south of Laclede, just to the east of I-57. I'm starting to see a little bit of rotation pick up um, on my end, and also got some purple on the radar between Sandoval and Odin. So more than likely, probably getting some hail with that core.
All right, and let me switch it over to the. Let me get over to one of the other products where I can get you that hail information. And right now, not showing any hail in the last little bit. One little thing at hail that was up around Kinmundy,
Yeah.
just to the north. It's not popping Kinmundy on there, but that's around that area. In the last hour, go back to single site base. As we're coming up on 8 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, Wayne County now. I imagine we don't have storm damage photos. I haven't seen much around here in Wayne County, but there may be something out there. If you're watching and you have something you want to relay, you can text
Yeah.
damage pics. We have the phone number on our screen. It is 618 737-9996. It drops into the device over here, and then we can work on getting it on the airwaves, as they would say.
By the way, since if you guys are watching on Facebook, don't be afraid to go ahead and share our coverage here at Wayne County Now, where we have severe weather coverage. Information helps reach more people. You may know someone in that area where a storm may be affecting, and your sharing of the post of the stream could actually help that person out. And so, with these storms coming in, they're strong storms. No warnings yet for them, but we are monitoring them, and they just keep extending a little bit to the south and already looks like Mount Vernon may be getting a shower before long.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the weather service at Paducah, which makes the decisions for Jefferson and Wayne counties, they were talking about maybe later this evening they may be seeing things, and I'm checking to see if there's anything new from them. It's according to Derek Snyder at the Weather Service, they are looking at a threshold of 1-inch hail on some of this, which means there may be the potential of a warning. Just to be clear, let me see if I turned off the hail trackers in here earlier. Let me go to NexRad. Let me turn that back on. And let's go last hour. Yep. So there was a little bit of 1.25-inch size hail reported in northern Marion County. That would have been up around the Kinmundy area.
Yeah.
Which could have been what we were picking up on correlation coefficient.
Could have been.
A while ago. So you're watching us 8 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, Wayne County Now. He's Derek Dunn. I'm Dustin Fuller. I'm off the screen at the second. Check that. Not off the screen now. Whoever's running the controls. Actually,
need some more training.
Yes. Follow the voice. As we're with you on this Friday evening. Nothing better to do other than to keep you informed in case there is severe weather in our area. And right now, a pretty strong storm as it's going through Marion County right now. Plenty of lightning with it, too.
Yes.
By the way, if anything does break out, what I will tell you is look above. We have the outage map for you there as well. So if anything outage-wise gets reported on Wayne White, it'll pop up on the screen. We can give you that outage data pretty quick as well.
Yeah, with that cell moving in the central area, I'm not seeing any rotation with it, which that's encouraging. That's a good sign, but it is starting to pick up, as you mentioned, Dustin, earlier, the lightning on the lightning tracker, along with what appears to be maybe a little bit of a hail core.
Let me see if I can pull anything. The hail it was pulling earlier was up around Kinmundy. It was what went through in that area. There's that 1.2 inch in diameter reading. And the good news is, I don't know if you can tell on this screen, you're seeing the green get a little darker, and that's not a bad thing. That is basically the sunset.
Ah, okay.
So it starts to show that information. Means we're getting closer to maybe the weather chilling out for a bit.
Well, let's hope anyway. Let's hope.
Yep, 57 minutes remains in the severe thunderstorm watch. Slight risk of severe weather continues for our area tonight. Again, Sunday's the more expected risk of severe weather for our area.
Absolutely.
As plenty of lightning. So if you want a light show, you're going to get it in northern Wayne County in about, I would say, 20 minutes.
Well, let's see.
So up around Johnsonville, Reinard, Sisney, you'll get the light show. Jeff, you might get to see the light show as well. Fairfield, if you look to the north.
You're about maybe 30, 29, 30 miles out from it if you're in Sisney.
Yep, it's very true. You might see a good show from the north and west. As a lot of the lightning is back on the back end of the storm.
Yeah. You got to watch out for that back end when it comes to cells. So can't be caught off guard by that.
No, and it's like there's another one developing back around Clinton County.
Yes.
Now, that one looks to be going more of an east-northeast at the moment.
Trying to be a little blip, and it's getting bigger.
No warnings on the board. Severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect for another 55 minutes. I'm waiting for them to start issuing a mesoscale discussion here for this portion of Illinois.
Yeah, lightning around Salem just continues to increase. And if you compare it to, the storm that's impacting, Clay and Effingham counties, hardly any lightning, but that lightning's picking up, though. And let's also talk about the temperature and contrast. 73 in Fairfield right now, 70 over in the St. Louis area, 63 west of Hillsborough because they've had some rain and storms move through. So still got some energy, a little bit of energy out ahead of it. And Mount Vernon starting a little shower activity to the north there. But Salem maybe getting a pretty good storm in the area. No warnings out for it yet, but we are seeing, though, the lightning pickup. Could also be seeing some hail. And again, as Dustin mentioned earlier, the 1 inch hail threshold, that would be quarter size. So anything quarter size or larger is meets severe level of criteria to where you would see the warning being issued.
I'm looking right now, Fayette County, plenty of rainfall in that area. And EMA Director in Fayette County, Rachel Denning, earlier in the chat was making a joke about wanting a lake in her yard. This is not the lake she was talking about. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to work on putting that image into our slideshow here in just a second. It may take a minute for me to pull it on over, but I will try to pull it on over and let you see it. This is out of Fayette County, so give me a moment. I'm getting into Google Drive right now to upload the photo. Technology when it works, right?
Yes.
And I only have like 9,000 photos in my phone, so I might need to purge my phone.
Same here. Same here. Full of funny memes and pictures, and that's all it is.
Yep, I'm getting into the drive right now, and I'm going to download that photo.
For those of you in northern Wayne County, by the way, Johnsonville, Sisney, Mount Erie, we are seeing that cell moving through the Salem area. Appears to be the strongest cell right now in our area and region. There's no warning for it, but we have seen the lightning pick up a little bit. So, for those of you that live in northern Wayne County, heads up, you got a storm coming in from the west. It's not severe, but it has shown strong activity, if you will.
And my apologies, I think you're seeing me try to open a file. Technology! You got to understand how it works some days, right? I'm failing in that
Yep.
department today.
Seems like you need to go to a class taught by Claire about technology and everything.
Might not be a bad idea. All right, this is not going to be completely the way I want to show it, but there you go. That's the
That's the
photo
biggest lake I
from.
ever saw.
Yeah, that's right in the front yard. That's not exactly the lake she was talking about. Uh, so we might see some flash flood warnings up to the north.
Yes.
That's up in Fayette County.
Yeah, when you have these cells moving at a very slow pace, you could get some flooding in some flood-prone areas. So, if you're driving out at night, be careful of that.
Turn around, don't drown the keywords. Something the Weather Service will definitely give you a heads up on. Weather Service officials were originally trying to say between 5 and 9 for our area, and if you're over into Indiana, 8 and 11. But I think we've determined that that's a slight bit off. And I'm going to put another image on our screen here in just a moment. Another couple from the Weather Service. That would totally be something that probably should be. I think that the way the monitors are set up here on this system, it's doing what it's doing that way. So. This is something we did not cover earlier that I think is perfect to bring up right now. With it being Memorial Day weekend, vacationing is something that is very, very popular. So when you're enjoying things this Memorial Day weekend, and we have severe weather threats that we have, uh, they definitely want you to be aware that lightning can strike as far as 10 miles away. When thunder roars, go indoors and see a flash dash inside. There's some things that the Weather Service says. So if you're out golfing, boating, running, grilling, walking, doing construction work, riding bikes, gardening, or swimming, you definitely want to be aware of the weather situation out there.
Absolutely.
And then another thing the Weather Service pushing is become weather ready. Definitely, if you're camping in RVs like some people will be this weekend, know the forecast, identify shelters before severe weather strikes. Never drive through a flooded roadway, and if possible, park away from large trees. The last thing you want to do is have that big, large camper destroyed by a tree that falls.
Well, it reminds me back early this month when we saw some damage up in northern Wayne County. So,
Yes, I remember seeing those photos. In fact, US 45 was closed because I believe a total of 36
power
power
poles.
poles. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And the SPC is starting to trim back the severe weather risk if you're east of Wayne County. So uh, parts of Wabash County, Mount Carmel, no longer in the slight risk. Lawrenceville, Bridgeport, not in that slight risk. Crawford County, completely out of it now. As they're believing that this is going to fizzle down with darkness here now, or shortly approaching. So, and if you look north, a lot of the stuff has died down. Looking back west, I'm looking back out at the moment, but this might be a strong thunderstorm, our main event tonight,
Yeah.
which this is the complaints department about that. I'm not complaining. I don't think you are either.
Me neither. Yeah, that cell that's again, like, Western Richland, Eastern Clay County starting to fizzle out. That part of it anyway. Jasper County, Newton's getting a pretty good storm, but the one of really our focus here seems to be right about the Iuka, Omega, Salem area. That one appears to be the strongest storm here in our region anyway. No warning out for it yet, but we are monitoring it though.
And these have been historically going about 35, so about 9 minutes out of Orchardville, Johnsonville 20 minutes, Sisney 29 minutes, Fairfield 39, Golden Gate within the hour, Ellery within the hour, Albion an hour and 6, Bone Gap an hour 10, Grayville, Crossville, and about 77 minutes. Cowling over in Wabash County, 79 minutes.
Got a little cell just been forming here about the Blueford area. That's going about maybe 30, 35. I've got a storm track on it. Should be arriving in Keens in about 4 minutes. Wayne City in 9. Sims in 15. Boylston at 23. Fairfield will be there about 30 minutes. So, yeah, a little cell that just kind of popped up and little thunder shower, but hey, it just kind of formed out of nowhere and it's moving again about 30, 35 miles per.
Yeah, I put that time track up just now as well, so and it's kind of moving more due east, and I think there's a chance it merges with that part of the storm up north into Marion County. That's crossing over to
Yeah, that's what I'm
Wayne
thinking.
County.
That's what I'm thinking too.
So Fairfield about a half hour from getting some pretty strong rain. No warning on these, just to be clear. And by the way, the severe threat is really starting to diminish. Uh,
It is.
so I think once this batch of storms comes through, I think we are going to be clear tonight,
Yeah.
which I don't think anyone here will complain. It'll be
No.
Sunday. It'll be Sunday that the main event is, and I think we all knew that.
Right.
But also, this gives us an opportunity. While we're still testing out some things here at Wayne County now, the new layout for severe weather coverage that we've been working on. We've got the ticker at the bottom. We've got the clock. We have multiple things. I love it. My phone just said we're going to get rain within the next 15 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is. We'll see.
We also have the power outage map by Wayne White top left as well, Dustin.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. So we could see in real time when outages get reported. And I feel like that storm is starting to make another turn now to move toward due east in Marion County, crossing into Wayne County.
Mm-hmm. That's been the story of the day where these storms have either been moving east or southeast, maybe north. It's been so random.
It has been. As these are starting to hit into Wayne County right now around Orchardville. Yeah, this is mainly east threat now. Moving due east, so the main part of that cell is going to be northern Wayne County. So it's saying Johnsonville in 18 minutes, Zenith in 10, Reinard 24, Sisney 27, Enterprise 34, Mount Erie 46, Wynooss 47. Population affected 820. Not that this thing down south near Keens isn't going to touch anything off. I think that'll touch something too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
And
put
it
a
looks
new.
like they're kind of they'll be joining together as you mentioned earlier. So, um,
Yeah, about 6 minutes out from Wayne City, 11 minutes from Sims, 20 minutes out of Boylston, 26 out of Fairfield, 27 out of Hubbard, Miriam Crossroads about 35 minutes, Tom's Prairie in 37 minutes, Golden Gate in 41, Scottsville in 44, Ellery in 46. Total population impacted 6,234 according to the track we are running on that.